Hi, here we are again in our continual discussion. I'm with Peter Wang, and we've changed our location. We are now farther south. We are in beautiful White Rock, BC. We're close to the US border, so Peter and I will probably contemplate seeing God Bless America. What do you think about that, Peter?
Yeah, God bless America, God bless Canada.
God bless Canada.
I wish God can bless China as well.
Exactly, exactly. So talking about America, Peter was discussing with me the upcoming U.S. presidential election, which will be decided on November 3rd, next Wednesday. And I think Peter wanted to bring up some comments about that, Peter.
Yeah, with the coming election, it draws everybody's attention, particularly under the circumstances like pandemic is spread out, getting tougher and tougher. Yesterday, France and Germany they basically adopted lockdown nationwide. Right? So, what do you think? Who can win this election?
Well, I think if we listen to media and we follow the projections of the Electoral College vote, which is really the determinant of who wins the presidential election, I think it does look that it is Biden's win. And I think if Biden does win, I think that will no doubt bring into focus his attention to the American relationship with the People's Republic of China. And I think you will agree with me that Biden will do things differently, but I think you wanted to bring up some concerns that you had.
Yeah, not only my concern, I think it's a lot of overseas Chinese, they have concerns that we don't have any objections that Biden is a very experienced career politician.
That's right.
As Donald Trump said him 47 years ever since he was first elected as a senator. Joe Biden, through his whole career, he has met several generation Chinese leaders, including renowned Deng Xiaoping. That's the end of the last century, 70s, and through the successor like Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, and Xi Jinping. And he built a very strong relationship, personal relationship with President Xi Jinping through years contact. And my concern is Joe Biden strong enough to adopt the Donald Trump's policy towards China? We call it tough line, right? So,
so you're saying that the Biden approach to China is predicated on Biden's relationship with the elites of the CCP, which can in some way, shape, or form make him seem as if he is softer on the Communist Party.
Yeah, particularly after the so-called his son's Hunter Biden's involvement with several Chinese state-owned enterprise-sponsored business. Right?
Yes, because I think our viewers, if they don't know that Hunter Biden is in some way, shape, or form the focus of a scandal, if we can call it that, involving his business connections in the People's Republic of China. I think what may be telling is going to be Biden's choice of Secretary of State. This is probably the most important cabinet posting in the American Republic. And I think I'm no doubt sure that Biden has now a short list of people that he wants to bring in as Secretary of State. And if you see what Pompeo is doing in terms of the American vision of its relationship with the PRC, I'm quite sure that President or to-be President Joe Biden would probably shortlist somebody like Elizabeth Warren. And I think you're familiar with Elizabeth Warren?
No, I'm not quite familiar with. Can you give us a little bit introduction about?
Yes. Elizabeth Warren was on the ticket, was one of the candidates for being the Democratic presidential candidate for President of the United States. And she was part and parcel of the big discussions that involved, I believe, up to 6 contenders for the Democratic ticket for president. She unfortunately had to stop her campaign, but she gave her support to Joe Biden for president of the United States.
Not for Sanders.
Not for Sanders. Not for Bernie Sanders. She broke away from Bernie because she is not as left of center as Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren is a senator from the state of Massachusetts. She has made a name for herself as being a take no prisoners fighter, and she made a name for herself on the financial oversight committees that looked into the scandal of the Wells Fargo Bank.
The biggest bank in the state.
Exactly. And there was a big scandal about the way that Wells Fargo was conducting its business through its branches of basically signing on new customers with what we would term as unethical methods of doing so. And she headed that finance subcommittee. And she was very effective, and she really made a name for herself in that regard. So I think Elizabeth Warren would be head of the class in terms of a short list for Secretary of State.
You give me an impression that kind of Elizabeth Warren is kind of female Pompeo.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michael
very much
Pompeo
so.
make his name on the U.S. foreign policy as either a decision maker and execution, because he can replace Tillerson because his strengths as his former career as like FBI director, and later on he imposed a hotline towards, particularly in China.
Yeah.
And it's Mark Pompeo. He first time openly spoke of those American policies should distinguish the Chinese people to Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
And I wish Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, but I think she would be a logical choice, Peter, because I think you hit the hammer on the nail by saying that foreign policy is basically Mike Pompeo's baby. I think he is the driver. Donald Trump is not interested in foreign policy. He's interested in domestic affairs. He's interested with his base. And at this point in time, he doesn't have time. I don't think he's ever had really the time or the interest in foreign policy. So it is Mike Pompeo's baby. And I think the groundwork that Mike Pompeo has established in the relationship between the Trump administration and the administration of Xi Jinping is going to make Biden choose someone who is preferably a female Mike Pompeo. And I think in that case, it might certainly be Elizabeth Warren.
It's no doubt, because the only area Democrat and Republican has no disagreement is the China policy.
Exactly.
In the cabinet.
For that, it is in essence the foreign policy between the United States of America and China is collectively Democrats and Republicans working together as Americans in bringing China to account. And for that, I don't think there is any disagreement. I think they're unified in the way that the United States of America needs to deal with the People's Republic of China.
Okay, let us wait till next week to see what's the final result.
That's right. So we're left hanging, and we'll see after November 3rd. Thank you, Peter.